to one of the great times of the year, the 11th Gildan, New Mexico Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania, the first FBS Bowl of 38 on the year. Pits the New Mexico Lobos out of the Mountain West Conference and the UTSA Roadrunners out of Conference USA. UTSA is the home team, despite being right here in the Lobos' hometown of Albuquerque. And with that, we welcome into the broadcast booth Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Don Davenport will join us in a moment as well. This is one of the great times of the year with great bowl games, great matchups. We're taking you all the way to Tampa and the national championship game. Why do coaches love bowl season so much, though?
Well, one thing is Christmas started today for guys like me, Adam, because we get to watch these 40 bowls coming up. But coaches get to practice an extra 13 practices. And you're out of class. You've got their full focus. You've got them all day. So it really helps you prepare for spring practice.
Let's give you the quick synopsis of these two teams. First for New Mexico, very simple. The best rushing team in the country. They've got two 1,000-yard rushers for the first time.
Yeah, these two guys can fly. Gibson can run. He's got patience, but he's made explosive plays. Over 9 yards per carry, leads the nation in yards per carry. And you've got Tyrone Owens. He can run, but he's also the best blocker on the team. These guys can move up and down the field and usually only want to throw about 8 passes per game.
It's a triple option offense that's very difficult to stop. That'll be a tough assignment for UTSA today. For UTSA, it's a 6-year program for college football. That's it. Larry Coker was the head coach for the first 5 years. They weren't allowed to go to a bowl game until 2014. Frank Wilson comes in this year from LSU in his first head coaching job, and here they are for the first time.
Yeah, Larry Coker was the right guy to take over the program. He won the national championship at Miami, came within one player of another one. He won 7 games, he won 8 games, and he's got these guys in a good position today.
It is frigid. At least it feels that way based on the wind. The temperature's only 42 degrees, but the swirling winds have gusted up to 40 miles an hour today. You see the cameras shaking right now, and we are going to get set to go. New Mexico won the toss and deferred. Again, they are the road team, despite the fact that they are here at their home stadium. And immediately the wind is going to blow the ball off the tee. UTSA is to receive a Jason Sanders kick, and Matt Guidry is back to return. So they'll need a little bit of help getting this kick away, as Bijan Parker will have to be the holder for Guidry. Back to return. UTSA has never had a kick return touchdown in its 6-year history. Off we go with Capital One Bowl Mania, and one of the nation's leaders in touchbacks bangs out his 68th on 81 kickoffs. With the help of the wind, as we check in to a windy sideline in Don Davenport.
It is, but this is an exciting sideline. And head coach Frank Wilson, ever since he got to UTSA, has been preaching all hands on deck. And that's what you see on this T-shirt the school gave out to everybody who bought a ticket. And people were lined up around the building to get their T-shirt and their tickets. The city of San Antonio has also bought in. They declared yesterday Orange Friday to support the team. Now, Coach Wilson told us that he pulled this team together early on in the year. And he told them that they were dream catchers and history makers. They just didn't know it yet.
And here they are making history in their first ever bowl game, and the snap belongs to Dalton Sturm, and the carry to Jarvion Williams, the all-time leading rusher in UTSA history, gets hit hard by Donnie White at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll be second down. Dalton Sturm making his 20th consecutive start at quarterback for UTSA. Took over for Blake Bogenschutz, who was dealing with concussion issues midway through last year. Bogenschutz actually retired in February due to those concussions. And Sturm, as a walk-on, has taken over as the starter. Here is Williams, slipping a tackle, and has an alley. And Jarvion Williams, the senior out of Converse, Texas, will take it inside the New Mexico 40-yard line. A 38-yard run for Williams.
It's a great block by Shaq Williams on the outside. But Frank Selfo, the offensive coordinator, came in from the Jacksonville Jaguars, said we've got to run the ball, control the clock, and keep New Mexico on the bounty. They need explosive just like that.
Welcome those of you who are just watching Georgetown knock off Syracuse. You are looking at the start of Capital One Bowl Mania. It begins with the 11th Gildan, New Mexico Bowl And it begins with the first drive in bowl history for a program that's only been around for 6 years. That's the UTSA Roadrunners, 6-6 and bowl eligible for the first time, 5-3 out of Conference USA, second in the Western Division. Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Don Davenport, and you're looking at Frank Wilson, the first-year head coach of UTSA, taking this team to its first ever bowl game. Bob Davie is the head man for the New Mexico Lobos in their second consecutive bowl game and 13th all-time. It is Jalen Rhodes getting the carry on 2nd down and 4, running into Cody Baker. And it'll bring up 3rd down, opening drive of the game, opening 2 minutes. And UTSA with a 38-yard run from Jarvion Williams got deep into New Mexico territory.
Frank Selfo, the offensive coordinator that came in from the Jacksonville Jaguars to UTSA. He's really, really good on 3rd and short, and they know they've got to make these type situations to stay on the field and keep that option attack of New Mexico off the field.
And Sturm, a very good athlete, will get shut down by Kimmy Carson at the 20-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down.
Kevin Cosgrove, the defensive coordinator for New Mexico, he was at Nebraska, he was at Wisconsin. He knows how to dial them up front, and he brought the extra linebacker there, Kimmy Carson, for the sack against the no back formation with UTSA.
Now, Mac, from here it'd be about a 37-yard field goal, which is within Victor Falcone's range. Not today.
Not today. May blow back behind you. That wind is blowing, and that's why you can see UTSA running the ball so much early. All of them on the line of scrimmage. Looks like Cosgrove may be bringing 6. Now they've back out. Probably going to play coverage.
Will fire to the flat. It is caught for the first down by Williams. Chased down by an excellent tackler in Dakota Cox, but we have our first 4th down conversion of the day. We might see a lot of them today.
Yes, if you're an offensive coach, you call this a rub route, where the receiver comes inside and he makes Cox run around him and he gets your receiver free in the flat. If you're on defense, you call it a pick route. And Coach Cosgrove told us yesterday, they're going to pick us all day. And I said, well, they'll call it a rub, Coach.
Of course, from an offensive mind like Mac Brown's, why wouldn't you call it that? Here is Williams on the edge. Not much room there, and he ends up losing a couple of yards. Chased out by Maurice Daniels. You can hear the wind in our mics on the field, how hard these gusts are coming in. And I know, it is New Mexico. You get weather like this in Albuquerque at this time of year, but both teams worked with a lot of conditional stuff over the course of the week, trying to do whatever they possibly could in the cold and in the wind during practices leading up to this bowl game to prepare.
And it's in the 40s, and the wind is making it feel much colder than that with wind chill.
A long UTSA drive to start the day. 11th play. A bad snap handled by Sturm, and he will take off. And he'll slip out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down, and we'll line him up at the 10-yard line. 3rd and 9 coming up here. They can get a first down without scoring.
Yeah, 2 really good plays by number 58, Maurice Daniels, the defensive end. He's their best pass rusher, but he pushed the sweep toward the boundary on the last play and did a great job tackling Strum on the scramble on that play.
New Mexico has a veteran defensive group in a 4-2-5 defense. 4 wide receiver look, 3 by 1 here.
I think again we see fade to the field.
And it is to Josh Stewart, their leading receiver, and it's knocked away by I.B. Brown, the senior from San Antonio, playing for New Mexico. Great coverage against the leading receiver of UTSA.
Well, and we saw Josh Stewart make one of the better plays that I've ever seen a receiver make over at Texas A&M in the corner. He's their tall guy. He's their go-to guy. Anytime they can get single coverage with him, they're going to throw it up. Really good play by Brown.
So here on 4th down, they will try from 27 yards. Falcone will have to bust one, and a lot of heat on that one. You have to power it through the wind. And Victor Falcone, the sophomore out of Comfort, Texas, puts UTSA on the board with its first ever bowl points.
And Adam, a couple of things. When they've scored first 6 times this year, they've won 5 of the ball games. So scoring first is very important. Also control the clock for 6 minutes and 19 seconds.
Well, the wind plays havoc with that kickoff from Daniel Portillo, and out of bounds on a procedure penalty. So Decent field position for New Mexico to start their first drive. And New Mexico will start at the 35-yard line, the nation's #1 rushing offense. Bob Davie always wanted to run the triple option, but didn't feel like he could do it at Notre Dame. He's done it here at New Mexico, and Lamar Jordan, one of 2 quarterbacks that New Mexico has used all season long. He's the more true triple option style QB. He's coming off a career-high 176 rushing yards against Wyoming in a blowout win. Redshirt junior out of Frisco, Texas. And on first down, Terrion Gibson staying on his feet. And Terrion Gibson, who leads the country in yards per carry, turns nothing into a lot to the 39-yard line of UTSA, 27 yards.
Terrion's averaging 9.23 yards per carry, and he just made it bigger at him with that play. They start out with an isolation play to the left. He starts to bounce outside to the left, comes all the way back around to the right, and makes the huge gain. That's the kind of explosive plays that UT San Antonio cannot continue to give up today.
They load up the backfield again. Jordan stretching it, will keep it, and get a good gain close to the sticks. Down to the 29-yard line with Nate Gaines, the safety, making the stop.
Terrion Gibson, we've already seen, impact player, leads the country in rushing. And you start looking at linebacker Josiah Effa. He is a downhill player. He's tough, and he's going to have to play that option inside out all day to try to slow down the triple option of the Lobos.
On second and short, and a good cut by Gibson. He's got the first down to the 23-yard line. Raquel Bass was there for the stop after a 6-yard run. UTSA's defensive coordinator is in his first year, like everybody else in the staff. Pete Golding, who spent the last couple of years at Southern Miss, and we asked him, hey, what worries you about playing the triple option? He just kind of sarcastically laughed and said, where do I start? Essentially, there is difficulty in guarding a triple option offense.
Yes, they make you be disciplined. They're going to make you defend all 11 from defense because one guy messes up and you can give up the score.
Stretch to the near side again. It's McQuarrie inside the 10, first down and goal. Devron Davis finally chased him out. 17 yards for Richard McQuarrie coming off a 3-touchdown game against Wyoming.
Well, what we're seeing is these running backs that we've heard about and watched on video are for real. This guy's 220 pounds, McQuarrie, the Rock. He gets it up inside, and then he even bounces outside. So we're seeing Gibson, Owens, McQuarrie, and Lamar Jordan take the ball and get explosive plays early in the game, which does not bode well for the Roadrunners.
There is the first-year coordinator, Pete Golding. Nightmares about the triple option. Punching it through is McQuarrie, and did he get in? He is marked just shy, and not by much. It'll set up second down and goal from the shadow of the goal line.
Well, and when your name's Rock, you're probably going to get it again.
Yeah.
And you've got 16 touchdowns. This is just a power play. Up inside, they've got an H-back or running back that they have in the backfield lead, and he just goes north and south. And got you, number 8, the tight end H-back, was the lead blocker on that play. I think we see something similar to McQuarrie up inside.
23 touchdowns in his career. And drilled by who you talked about, Mac, as an impact guy, the redshirt freshman linebacker, Josiah Taua-Effa out of Corinth, Texas.
Effa is the guy that they all love. They follow this guy.
Time out of the half.
He's a downhill player.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
He's tough, he's smart, and he takes that 220 pounds with McQuarrie and puts him on his back.
If you score here and you get the extra point and you get to kick off in this direction on the other side, it's huge.
Changes field position completely.
On the ground, it is the Rock. McQuarrie busting past the plane, and he's got the touchdown for the 24th time in his New Mexico career.
These guys have an amazing combination of just power football. This was just a dive play up inside off of the option, and the Rock, McQuarrie, scores his 17th touchdown going north and south.
And as I mentioned, he's got 24 on about 185 carries in his career. So the extra point for Jason Sanders extends his school record to 82 straight.
Bowl games are so important to the coaches. They're important to fans. They're a reward. But they're most important to the student athlete. And we don't do enough for student athletes. This gives these guys a chance to get some gifts, to have a fun Christmas or holiday away from home, and get a little money to travel and see places they haven't seen.
It really is one of the best times of year in sports. So because Bob Davie took that timeout and they scored at the end of the first quarter, they get to kick with the wind. They don't have to kick into it. And on a touchback, UTSA will have it at the 25-yard line.
The biggest strategies today will come because of the wind.
Yep.
And that'll be the head coach's decision on both sides.
Makes offense a little easier. You're not going to pass as much. New Mexico doesn't pass that much anyway, and you're going to try to bang it on the ground and try to get your work done there.
It may not make offense easier. It makes it simpler.
Simpler. I say that's a good way. That's a great way to say it, my friend.
Because if they stop the run and you're trying to throw into that 40-mile-an-hour wind. We actually played a game at Iowa State, and I saw a quick out, and the ball was blown back behind the quarterback. We had to try to figure out whether it was a fumble or not.
10 rushes, 5 passes so far, and the rushes have been much more lucrative for UTSA to start their day. So the final play of the first quarter will be a Sturm pass. And he's going to take a shot. It's a wobbler down the middle. And good pressure coming in by Taylor Timmons. They're looking downfield for Josh Stewart. First bowl game in the 6-year history for UTSA football. New Mexico in back-to-back bowl games for just the 4th time ever. They're trying for their 2nd bowl win in the last 54 years. We've got a great matchup for one of the great times of the year. We're so happy that you're with us for Capital One Bowl Mania. UTSA in its first bowl game, and its first play of the second quarter starts from the 25-yard line on 2nd down.
In bowl practice, you've got about a month to change things, so guys should have a better feel in the second quarter of how they're going to play them.
It is a draw play for Jarvion Williams. And Jarvion near midfield, finally forced out by Daniel Henry to the 48-yard line. It's 23, and beg your pardon, it was Jalen Rhodes on the run. Well, Brian Urlacher played at New Mexico from 97 to 99. I remember him as the Lobo. That was the new position that Rocky Long put in for a 3-3-5 defense that not many people had seen a ton of over the course of the years. And then not only was a great defensive back and linebacker, but he returned punts, he returned kicks. He would carry the ball once in a while. He had 6 touchdowns on catches. He returned 5 kicks for TDs. And Brian Urlacher, me growing up in Chicago, I was always a fan of him, and we're very pleased to have you in the booth with us, man. Really appreciate you taking the time.
I'm glad the Lobos are in a bowl game again. It's exciting.
Back-to-back bowl games for New Mexico, just the 4th time in program history.
Oh, nice play.
And a great play charging in for New Mexico's defense by Jacob Gergel, the safety, a guy who kind of fits that mold. This is a different defense than from what you played under Rocky, obviously, but there are a lot of guys on this defense that still look up to you and want to play like you do. What does that mean to you?
It's awesome. You know, not a lot of kids come to New Mexico. It's hard to recruit here because we haven't won in a while. It's great what Coach Davey's doing. Dakota Cox, you mentioned him earlier, Coach. He's a tough kid. You know, this is his 4th year. He's had over 100 tackles every year.
Loves you.
Yeah.
Looks up to you.
You know, I like him now, too. No.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been fun to watch the last couple seasons.
2nd down and 12 for Sturm and the Roadrunners.
There you go.
Trying to power forward, and Rhodes will pick up yardage to the 46-yard line. 3rd down and 5 coming up here.
These guys are really good, Brian, on 3rd down and 5 because you take all the things you saw in the pros. They use the rub routes. They use the pig routes. They use a little boot or naked. What would you tell a linebacker when you're on a 3rd down and 5? What did you look for when you had all this stuff that they throw at you?
The pick routes, like you said, the #1 thing. That's a huge thing now, especially in the pro level. And on their first 4th down here, UTSA ran a pick route on the other end, and Dakota got picked there a little bit. They're tough to defend because you got to go over the top, and then you're probably going to make the tackle for a 1st down.
We said they call them rubs on offense. You call them picks on defense. They run into you.
They're illegal is what they are. That's right.
Well, remember that Frank Selfo, the offensive coordinator, spent the last 3 years as a QB coach for Gus Bradley in Jacksonville, worked with Blake Bortles as well. Here.
And Adam, if you're Brian, you're looking at a wide split to the top, right. So it could be one-on-one route, or you could go back and see him sprint that way.
Reverse, fake.
And keep the ball.
And they fake the reverse with Sturm, and he's got the 1st down.
Really good call.
That was a great play. Yeah,
great
good
play.
call.
Now, Brian, you were talking about this, the pick route, the rub route. that is so difficult to defend against? If you're Dakota Cox, the guy in the middle of the defense, what are you trying to do to defend this?
It's labeled wrong, first of all. He's got to widen out here. He's got to widen out, see the receiver trying to pick him, and either run through him or go over the top. You know, it's going to be a first down probably either way, but maybe get a penalty drawn on the guy.
You know, you need the contact to have the penalty called. If you're going to run a pick route, that's the way to do it.
Make
on the
him call it. Yep, a good tackle right there.
That's a good
and Brian would have watched enough film during the week that he would know this was coming.
I mean, you got to have a little bit of awareness. I would think Dakota saw that. Maybe he was a different. Maybe they're playing inside man coverage instead of outside. Who knows? There's a lot of different things that could have been happening there.
Mac, you asked Brian an interesting question. How was the process coming to New Mexico? Why was it important for you to be at New Mexico?
Well, it's good for recruits to hear this, that maybe not have as many offers right now as they want.
Lobos are the only school that recruited me. The only school that offered me a scholarship, so it was pretty easy decision for me. Coach Franchione told me, he goes, we have a scholarship for you. You can take it now or give it to somebody else. So I said, well, I'll take it. Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Coach.
Pretty simple conversation.
Would you like to talk about it?
Easy.
Don't you wish it was that easy for you?
Yes. Period.
Good play.
It is Rhodes on the ground, and he gets stuffed after a short gain. It'll set up third down here. Obviously, you had a great career with Chicago as well, and I got a chance to see you growing up and seeing you professionally and calling some of your games. What do you miss most about it? I mean, tomorrow is going to be a day where it's going to be frigid.
Freezing.
It's a Packers-Bears game. It's going to be negative temperatures, but what do you miss? Do you miss days like that?
I don't miss the weather. I do miss my teammates and getting ready for games. Our fans were great. The cold weather was great. Our fans came out no matter what. I miss that. Just Soldier Field on Sundays was great no matter who we played, but Green Bay was really special every time we played. You can throw the records out for those games because it didn't matter what the records were for either
Brian's
team.
got a little pullover. He's not even cold today.
No, this is nothing. I'm wearing a big coat.
Oh, no, this could be good for them.
On the move, trying to push forward as Williams may have gotten a face mask, and a flag did come flying in from the near side of the field.
Nick, it shows you with instincts and his visualization. Brian saw that was going to be a first down on when they pitched it.
I wish I could see it when I played.
You got a little better spot.
It's pretty nice to watch from up here, right?
Personal
You guys
foul.
see everything coming.
Face match. Defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
It's the San Antonio native playing for New Mexico, I.B. Brown, from the cornerback spot.
Brian, what did wind do to you when you were playing offenses? Did it limited what they did so much with the wind like today?
Yeah, you load the box up for the run. And against the Lobos, you do it either way because they're going to run the ball. You know, you got 20 plays, 20 runs so far, I think, for the Lobos. So if you just load the box up, if they beat you throwing the football, then they're better than you or they made a good play.
Sturm, under pressure, throws towards the end zone, and it's incomplete, out of bounds. It'll bring up second down and goal. I'd be curious if you've seen a Michigan, a Florida State, any of the bigger teams that are going to be in some of these huge bowl games. Who's impressed you watching some college football on your weekends?
I love college football, so I watch as many games as I can. Michigan's good. Gosh, they're big on both sides of the football. They got speed. You know, usually the Big Ten doesn't have a lot of speed. Michigan has speed. Ohio State has speed. You talk about the SEC when you talk about speed players, but they have both at Michigan, Ohio State. Of course, Alabama is just they're good. They're good.
Second down and goal, and Sturm will empty it out here.
Could be quarterback draw, or he's throwing a fade.
A quick one that was deflected. He was looking for Kerry Thomas Jr., and that ball was batted near the line of scrimmage.
Coach, those penalties got to drive you crazy as a coach.
They really do.
A late flag.
Yep.
It was on you. That's on. Yeah, no.
Dakota Cox was there to deflect that one. That was on its way to Kerry Thomas. Sturm is struggling 2 for 11.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 68. A 15-yard penalty. The down counts. It'll be third down.
Austin
That's the first
Pratt.
unsportsmanlike foul for number 68.
And the coaches told us yesterday he is aggressive, he is tough. That time it got the best of him a little bit there.
And they said sometimes that's good, and there's other times that it may be a little bit over the top. And I'm sure that Austin was frustrated with the 2 penalties, too. He's such a good player and a tough player for them.
Let's get a takeaway, Lobos.
Brian was pretty decent at that in his day. I remember it well.
I'm a huge homer, obviously, as I'm talking to you guys.
What do we expect? What do we expect when we brought a New Mexico Hall of Famer in? Sturm will rifle, and it is caught, but shy of the goal line.
Oh, targeting.
And a penalty marker does come flying in. Catch was made by Jabryce Taylor. And Daniel Henry is down on the deck. And there is no other penalty. It's no personal foul for unnecessary roughness. So if they pick this flag up, that would negate the penalty completely. and there would be no first down because they didn't signal for another penalty with targeting. Now, I would venture to say that our replay crew, and this is, remember, a Sun Belt Conference replay crew
After
and officiating
review,
crew, it might be overturned.
Number 14 did not target on the play.
Call.
There is no foul. It'll be 4th down.
This is points off. It could be points off the board, too.
Absolutely.
First and goal from the 5, that's the 4th and 10 from the 11 or whatever it is.
So
Absolutely.
Bob Kucera is the replay official. For those who didn't hear it, again, without the penalty flag, the play stands as it was played out. So it's a tackle made at the 10-yard line. It's 4th down now. UTSA is going with the win, and they will bring out their kicker, Victor Falcone.
Good
So
job,
a lot
guys.
to sort out on that particular play, but I think the officials got it right.
Well, and you love it being reviewed, like Brian said. He would have been out of the game.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we say, oh, we missed it.
Yeah, they think you're like, oh, we're sorry we missed that play.
Yeah,
that doesn't do us any good now.
A chance to play in your last game.
So a 28-yard try for Victor Falcone is good. And that will be points for UTSA with 92 seconds for the half. Brian, thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking some time out for us.
Thank you,
Brian.
Coach. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
New Mexico Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher is number 44 retired here in Albuquerque. His team up by 1. Cannell texted me, too. He said, you better tell Brian Urlacher his golf game better be tight for next month for a tournament in Orlando. So I'm sure Brian will be ready to go for it.
I'd say Brian's knocked Danny out before, so quarterbacks don't need to be challenging linebackers.
It's not a bad. It's not a good move by. It's not a good move by Cannell, man.
No, Brian still looks like he can play too.
Touchback, and New Mexico will go out to the 25-yard line. And on first down, it is Lamar Jordan running into Ben Kane. Works his way for 5 to the 30-yard line. 2 timeouts remaining for New Mexico on this drive. And earlier in this game, Tyrone Owens on a 4th down play for New Mexico got stacked up by Marcus Davenport and ended up getting tended to by the training staff. Got rolled up on and what looked to be a very, very tough play for him. So Richard McCorley is expected to even be a bigger factor as this game goes on. Michael Iguagu there on the stop. Let's go down to Dawn Davenport. She has more on Owens.
Yeah, they were actually looking at that left foot, the top of the left foot. They took off his shoe. They then retaped it, but he couldn't even move here on the sidelines. The head trainer, Bob Waller, told me he's questionable at best, but he's having trouble walking, guys. I'm not sure we're going to see him again.
Now, remember, Dawn, too, that he didn't play against Wyoming a couple of weeks back because of a foot injury that he suffered against Colorado State the week prior. So that has been something that has been bothering him significantly the last couple of weeks. It is a keep for Jordan. And Lamar Jordan takes it to the 48-yard line. 2 timeouts still remain here for New Mexico. They were really in no hurry going against the wind.
Timeout. New Mexico. That's their 2nd timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So their fans to know that's the 23rd play for New Mexico, the 23rd run.
They haven't passed the ball once in the first half.
And it was important they snapped the ball with 24 seconds left. They could have been forced to punt into the wind there if UT San Antonio had called a quick timeout, which Frank Wilson would have done. So that was a huge first down, whether they get points out of it or not.
New Mexico with a 1-point lead, closing out the opening half of the first bowl game at the FBS level of 38 coming up. Indeed, it is a pass. Jordan shuffling around and will throw a duck to Terrion Gibson, and he will get out of bounds, which saves New Mexico a timeout. They have a first down here with 1 timeout remaining. Now, although there is only 4 seconds remaining in this game, or in this half rather. Gibson,
they're going to kick the field goal into the wind.
They'll give it a shot from 52 yards out. This would be a career long for Jason Sanders, who's been one of the best kickers in the country this year, kicking into that wind. And Jason Sanders launching one, and Jason Sanders drilled it for a career long at the end of the first half.
That's the end of the first half.
How pumped was Bob Davie for his junior out of California? He's been one of the best in the country this year. He had a game winner against Utah State and into a brutal wind from 52 out. That run after the catch by Gibson set it up for 52 yards and a 10-6 lead. Buick halftime is coming up. Chris Cotter, Joey Galloway, DK, watch out for Urlacher. He's coming for you.
Well, Coach, before the game, I said, how far are you comfortable out with him kicking? You didn't tell me 52.
I misled you. I said 50. That was a heck of a kick right there. You know, we were actually trying, as you could see, play to pretty conservative there at the end of the half because we get the ball to start the second half. But that was a big momentum boost right there at the end of the half for us.
You deferred for the first time this year to the second half. This wind has been brutal out here. How has it affected you, and how will it affect you in the second half?
You know, I think it's settling down right now. It seems like it's calming down. You know, the problem is we haven't had the ball much. You know, a combination of two things. They've done a pretty good job against us with their defense. We didn't convert on the 4th and 1, and then they've bled us a little bit with their offense against our defense. So, you know, I think we got to spread it out a little bit. I do think we have to throw it a little bit more. Try to get the ball on the perimeter right now because they're pretty strong up inside those tackles.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the most populous city in New Mexico, Albuquerque, and the 11th Gildan New Mexico Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. New Mexico will have the ball and a 10-6 lead to start half number 2 after a career-long field goal by Jason Sanders to close the first half. We welcome you back into the booth. Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Don Davenport as well. And obviously, we talked about the importance of this game. First bowl game of the year. These guys get to kick it off. First one for UTSA. New Mexico trying to make it their second bowl win in the last 5.5 decades. There's so much riding for these teams. What did you think in the first half?
You live with this one till you kick it off again next fall.
That's right.
So it's really important to win the game. It's an even ball game. You go back to the 3 penalties for UTSA when they're inside the 5-yard line that leads to touchdowns, and you can't have field goals. And then not only that's a 10-point swing because they get the ball back, New Mexico takes it down, kicks the 52-yard field goal into this huge win, which was unbelievable. And now New Mexico gets the ball to start the second half.
It's all part of our storyline in this game. It is brought to you by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, and that Sanders field goal closed it out. The 3 penalties came at crucial times on a crucial drive for UTSA. Again, the rushing yards, as we expected with the win, were a major factor. Passing yards, not as much as we get set for the start of the second half. And you did hear Bob Davie tell Don Davenport during halftime, during our Buick halftime report, that maybe the wind is starting to die down a little bit. But with the swirling gusts that we've seen so far today, anything can happen here in the next 30 minutes of game time. You see the wind at 25. It's gusting up to about 40, 45 miles an hour, and it's making that temperature feel a lot cooler.
And it's also interesting, UTSA decided to kick into the wind in the 3rd quarter so they can have the ball in the 4th.
That'll go out of the back of the end zone. Out to the 25 comes New Mexico, and we go down to the sideline in Don Davenport.
Find some composure and poise, especially when you're in the red zone. That was the message that head coach Frank Wilson delivered to his team at the half. Now, UTSA has rushed for 144 yards. They're winning time of possession. They've been able to move the football, but coach pointed out to me they've dropped 4 passes, and that is the problem. He told his team that they cannot self-destruct this half. They have to learn how to finish.
That's a great point, Don. Again, we talked about the penalties, but those 4 drop passes came at crucial times. They had a chance to move the chains a couple of times, could have extended drives. So from the 25-yard line, the triple option offense from New Mexico goes back to work, and Terrion Gibson is pushed out for a loss of a yard by Nate Gaines, the safety. The best rushing offense in the country is New Mexico. Remember what Don told you in the 2nd quarter about Tyrone Owens, was dealing with a foot injury a couple of weeks back. Questionable to return at best after getting hurt in that first half.
And Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator at UTSA, told us it's really hard to prepare for the option in practice. They've gotten the first half down now. It looked like they made some adjustments at halftime and had safety gains coming up to make a good stop on the option.
And Mac, just to put a bow on that thought, it is official. Owens is out for the remainder of this game with that injury. Jordan off the play fake, and we'll throw a little floater to McCorley. And McCorley with a first down and more, breaking tackles and spinning near midfield. Out to the 49-yard line. Picks up 25 yards.
When you know you're not going to have the wind in the 4th, you got to score some points in the 3rd. So Bob DeBest comes out. Second play, they're stopping the option, so he fakes it up inside to McCorley, and then he leaks out. Nobody's there to get him. Really good play on 2nd down in the passing game for the Lobos.
And for McCorley, that's just his 5th career reception. 3 of them have come in the last 2 games for New Mexico.
Once again, when they call you rock, you run short yards and goal line, you don't catch balls.
Well, straight up with the dive, looking for Woodhouse, and he's down to the 33-yard line.
Adam, at halftime, a lot of things happen with coaches. You go first and you talk to the whole group as the head coach. Then the offense, defense, special teams get together individually. Then they go meet their players individually. And then they all come back together and the head coach sends a message. Obviously, at halftime, Bob Davie and Bob DeBest said we're going to have to loosen it up and throw the ball some downfield in this second half, and especially score some points in the third quarter because we're going to be running into the wind in the fourth.
Jordan will keep it, and he'll get hit at the 31-yard line by Josiah Talaefa. We'll bring up third down here. Again, the pass game is not necessarily anything you're going to hear a ton from for New Mexico. They don't lead on it by any means. The completion percentage for both Austin Apodaca and Lamar Jordan, the two quarterbacks that have been used all year, isn't going to blow anybody away. But Jordan today has completed both of his passes for 43 yards, and he had that pass interference penalty a few plays ago to help move the ball downfield. They're down and 5. Jordan against the rush has to get to the 26 and does. First down, Lamar Jordan and New Mexico. The shiftiness, the running ability coming off his best career game running the football against Wyoming.
They've thrown a few pass plays now, so he's got quarterback draw. Drop back, look like you're going to throw it. Find a spot up inside. They said tackling in space would be so tough, but Jordan Moore can't come up with a tackle against Lamar Jordan. What a huge first down, because you don't want to have to kick a field goal here. You need to get 7 points in with the win.
New Mexico leads the nation in double-digit yard runs. They already have 10 of them, or rather 7 of them, of 10 or more today. And Lamar's got 74 on the ground. Lamar can pitch it late, and he does, to Gibson. And a good job by UTSA to sniff the play out. Minimal gain, and Iguagu was there for the stop for UTSA. Michael Iguagu, his brother Martin played football in Texas in 2005 and 2008, 44th career game.
Yes, his brother wasn't quite as good as he is. That's what I'd say. I don't want an older brother to be mad at me, but they're a great family. Obviously, UTSA adjusted to the option some at halftime. They played it very well again. Inside out, stretch it, make them run to the sideline.
Jordan, play fake, is going to take a shot to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Anu Samoye, the redshirt freshman who's got a touchdown grab this year, well defended by Austin Jupi, the former Baylor Bear, who redshirted there and finally getting his chance this year.
This is a really good throw by Lamar Jordan. It's high, it's to the outside. Just a really good play by Jupi to knock it out of his hands right at the end. We're seeing adjustments made by both coaching staffs now at halftime. We're going to see this game get exciting here in the second half.
Austin Jupi, redshirt at Baylor in 2013, then transferred and sat out, missed the entire 2015 campaign, finally getting to play this year, and in UTSA's first bowl game, comes up with a stop. Jordan on third down. Jordan needs the 11-yard line. It's a foot race there. Did he make it there? Marcus Davenport was chasing him, and this would depend on the spot. The line to gain was the 11-yard line. And they'll mark it very close.
Yeah, sometimes the best play you can have is a pass play with a quarterback when it's broken down, and you've got the ability like Lamar Jordan. Now he's got to get this first down. Know where you are.
The ball was fumbled forward and out of bounds. The ball will be returned to the spot of the fumble. It's fourth down.
Yeah, that was a mistake by Lamar. He's got to turn up, plant his foot, get the first down. He sure has to hold on to it. So now this becomes a critical 4th and 1 or less. And we remember last time they did this, it was a stop up inside. I think you give it to the big guy here again, Adam. You come at him with the rock.
They'll work it with rock. McQuarrie trying to pound forward, and looks like he has enough to move the chains and does. Richard McCorley at 220 pounds at 5'11". Big body in a shorter frame, able to pound forward. Jordan Moore was there for the tackle, but it'll be first and goal for Bob Davie.
And I'm sure the coaches questioned themselves when they handed it off last time to Tyrone Owens, because he's 187 pounds. Give it to the big 220 guy up inside, because that's what he does. That's his MO. He's going to make the short yardage and goal line plays.
And they extend the drive, typical New Mexico drive, 10-play drive over the first 5 minutes of this second half. Straight up the gut, there goes Gibson into the end zone. The best rushing team in the country got a little help through the air, but they bang it in on the ground. Terrion Gibson.
10-point swing. They get the field goal right before the half. They take the ball. They've got the win. They need to score. They run option. They run pass. They spread it out and then hand it off inside on the dive to Terrion Gibson for the touchdown.
So Sanders will have that one blocked. The first time in his career that he has not been able to convert on a point after touchdown, and Kevin Strong came up with the block. He had made 82 in a row, a New Mexico record, and Jason Sanders gets stuffed by the sophomore out of Cleveland, Texas.
And if you're the UTSA coaching staff, you're going over to Strong and say, good for you, son. You didn't let up. You kept your mind in there. You kept focused. You kept working.
Keeps it at a touchdown and field goal game.
Absolutely.
No two-point conversion necessary. But Gibson the score, the Mountain West Conference second teamer. 180 yards for New Mexico on the ground today and 2 touchdowns. 16-6 after the missed extra point. 10-point lead as Terrion Gibson gets the touchdown. Leads the nation at 9.23 yards per carry. A career-high performance against Wyoming with 217 yards. One of the 2 1,000-yard rushers for Bob Davie. First time that New Mexico has ever had 2 1,000-yard rushers in the same season. Jason Sanders has his streak come to an end. 82 consecutive points after touchdown converted to start his career. The New Mexico record now done. But the Lobos are hyped, and Sanders will kick it short. A squib kick, and Guidry cannot handle it. He'll pick it up from the 7. And a great decision by New Mexico, because that will pin UTSA back at its own 13-yard line. A lot of things starting to go in New Mexico's favor. And now Dalton Sturm starts this drive from the 13-yard line. Nothing there for Jarvion Williams. Kimmy Carson in on the stop. Redshirt junior playing his 37th career game.
Yeah, a lot of times you start looking at Kevin Cosgrove, the defensive coordinator. He's going to bring a Carson from linebacker. He's going to bring a safety, a nickel, up around that line of scrimmage and try to stop the run on first down.
Kimmy Carson out of Tulsa, missed 2013 after knee surgery. It's been a key cog in this defense for Kevin Cosgrove. Good run by Jarvion Williams, and he's got the first down and more. A big burst from the senior out of Converse, Texas, Judson High School's own, with a good run out across the 45 to the 47.
And this should have been a stop at the line of scrimmage, but Martin, number 3, a senior, misses the tackle right here in space, lets him turn up, and what a play for the Roadrunners, because they have got to stay in this game into the win, so they'll have the win in the 4th quarter.
He has the most 100-yard games in the history of UTSA. And Sturm breaking tackles, still on his feet. And Dalton Sturm nearly picks up a first down on a play where he could have been sacked, where he could have been hit for a loss, where he could have been hit for a short gain. He ends up muscling for 9 yards.
And Kimmy Carson, who we bragged on, missed the tackle that time. But when Dalton Sturm is not having a good day throwing, you got to have him step up as a leader and a tough guy. And he gets out of the pocket and makes people miss him. You've got to have the tackle there. If you're number 2, Kimmy Carson, good play by Sturm.
Run blitz here, and it's a give to Jarvion Williams. And he should have enough for the first down. And he will.
Yeah, Kimmy Carson was mad. He missed the tackle, so he penetrated and nearly hit the guy. Made it a short play for a first down. This is one of the things that Kevin Cosgrove does so well, and he's penetrating against Austin Pratt. Austin picks him up. Just didn't quite make the tackle, but got good penetration. That's the run blitz that we talked about, just kind of racing up to the line to add an extra man against a run. So on first down, it is Williams trying to shift to the outside. Nothing there. And a good second effort by Nias Martin from the cornerback spot. He gets the tackle for less. Senior out of Baltimore making the play. And this is an important series because they need to kill the clock because of the win. So if they can kill the clock, get some points, and then get the win for the fourth quarter, it's worked out better for UTSA than it started in this quarter. We saw Kevin Cosgrove in his 5th season at New Mexico. 2nd year as the defensive coordinator. Draw play, and here comes Williams. So that'll set up a more manageable 3rd down. And about 7 or so from the 42 as Crosby made the tackle on Williams. That was a good call. You've got delayed draw. Dakota Cox on the blitz, runs by him. And the back, Williams, a really good back, good vision, good patience. Cox just runs right by him, and he turns it up inside. Kevin Cosgrove talked to us about how important 3rd down is going to be today. The former Barry Alvarez assistant on the sidelines as Sturm runs it. Sturm hurdles a man on the deck and has the first down to the 34-yard line. 2 good runs from a sneaky athletic quarterback, according to the coaching staff. You don't think of a guy who came in at 165 to be super athletic. He's got a lot of ability that not most people see. And they're not an option team, but Jarvion Williams on the option cuts Ryan Santos down with a super block on the corner. They blitz from the field. Kevin Cosgrove, good play call into the boundary. First down by Dalton Sturm. He's got more rushing yards than passing yards in this game. They're not supposed to be running options. That other bunch. That's right. Slipped one in on them there. Deep drop for Sturm. Looking to something will develop downfield. Instead, it's Lee Crosby lunging back for the interception. The redshirt senior with his first pick as a New Mexico Lobo. Watch what Kevin Cosgrove does, the defensive coordinator we were just talking about. He shows blitz with everybody, and then he backs them out. And he really confused Dalton Sturm. Gets the safety up underneath, and very good interception. Nickelback Lee Crosby. What a play. Junior college transfer from Baltimore City. And I've coached against Kevin Cosgrove. The man knows what he's doing. Yep. He knows what he's doing. You had some battles when he was at Nebraska and you were at Texas. So now New Mexico goes to the ground in McCorley, and it'll pick up about 3 on this first down run. Yeah, Kevin was laughing. They were at Nebraska, and they came in blitzed every play. And it finally ended up, we hit a 96-yard run with Jamal Charles, who's pretty fast down that boundary to win the game 28-24. He said last night, we didn't care. We were coming after you. Well, good to see Lamar Jordan back on after he took quite the shot on the previous series. They did give him his helmet back when he went to the sideline after some quick examination, and he is back out there starting this drive. On second down, Terrion Gibson somehow staying on his feet. But King Newton, the son of the Pro Bowler for the Dallas Cowboys, Nate Newton, had good penetration on the play. And it'll be a loss of a yard. Yeah, Trey Newton, King's older brother, played for us at Texas. That's right. He was a very good running back. And I remember King being a little bitty guy. He's grown into a big guy. He's not he's more like his dad now, not like Trey, the running back. And Nate won 3 Super Bowls, 6 Pro Bowls with the Cowboys. King's mom played volleyball at Louisiana in the 70s. Trey finished up his career in 2010 at Texas. Third down and 8. Mom was a school teacher. Good folks. And he's just a redshirt freshman as Newton, part of a 4-man rush with Tawa Efa coming late. And Tawa Efa getting the sack on Lamar Jordan. A great UTSA stand after the sudden change with the turnover. Yeah, we're just bragging on Kevin Cosgrove, Pete Golding. Sudden change, you got to come back up. And Tawa Efa is a guy that makes plays. You like seeing him. He's all over the place. He's a smart player. He comes this time, and he tackles maybe the quickest and fastest guy on the field one-on-one. What a play.
When we talked with Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator, and this UTSA staff, Tawa Efa, he's the guy that will impact this game more than any other player against the run and on that particular play against a very good and elusive quarterback. Line drive kick, Jabryce Taylor. A great job on a very low line drive kick by Corey Bojorquez. And the coverage unit was right on top of it. Quickly, something on Ohio State Clemson before we go to the fourth.
I think that's the game of the year, really, for me. They're both so similar. Both have older quarterbacks that have both been in the Heisman race. They can both run it. I think it's going to end up being who's going to run the ball the best and protect the ball.
That's the end of the
third quarter. So we are leading up to those two playoff games in the semifinals on Saturday, December the 31st. We get to bring you the start of bowl season. It's time for the fourth quarter as UTSA, in its first bowl game in its 6-year history, trails by 10 to the New Mexico Lobos, trying to get their second bowl win in the last 54 years. On to the fourth quarter we go. Welcome back to the 11th Gildan New Mexico Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Starting it up on this Saturday in Albuquerque. And a 2-score lead for New Mexico. UTSA has the football at midfield. Second down for the Roadrunners to start quarter number 4. Trying to push it with Jalen Rhodes. And a good stop by Stanley Barnwell, who's made 2 nice plays here in this second half. Again, the 3rd safety on the depth chart, his first year at New Mexico after a transfer from junior college.
This coaching staff's been around a long time for New Mexico. I think Coach said they were seasoned.
Seasoned, yeah, was the word he wanted to use.
Gray, experienced, whatever it is. But Kevin Cosgrove is going to make Dalton Stern beat him throwing the ball. He is not going to let them continue to run the ball. See a lot more guys in the box.
Toss play for Rhodes, being chased, and Rhodes turning the corner with the first down. Dakota Cox finally caught up to him, but a great job by Rhodes to get away from the initial penetration of William Uday.
Uday's got great penetration. It looks like it's going to be a stop. There's a lot of guys in the box, but Jalen Rhodes shows his speed on the sweep, getting on the corner, and he had a really good block by Shaq Williams out there. 2 or 3 times we've mentioned Shaq's name blocking on the corner.
So Rhodes missed all of 2014, came back strong as a redshirt freshman and has had a breakout year with 9 touchdowns, a school record. Sturm will step up and he'll take off. And Sturm gets a block to pick up the first down. Matt Guidry was downfield to open up just enough space for Sturm to slip past the sticks and a first down.
Well, another good play by Sturm. He's struggling in the passing game. So what do? You don't see the guy there. You've got a wheel route downfield. You break the tackle, and you turn it up and run for the first down. This young guy's a winner. He's just trying to fight through his struggles in the passing game, and the wind could have a lot to do with that.
And it continues to swirl. It continues to gust. You can hear it on our microphones. Gusts up to 40, almost 45 miles an hour consistently at about 25 all day. Draw play for Rhodes. Good penetration by Dakota Cox. 43rd career start today for the senior out of Draper, Utah. Proven toughness for this young man. Excellent middle linebacker.
Yeah, Dakota was actually committed to Cincinnati with Butch Jones, and with the changeover when he went to Tennessee, they got him a really good player here. Guy closing in on 400 tackles.
His dad, Tom, was the starting center for USC in the mid-'80s. Huge Brian Urlacher fan, and Brian was with us in the second quarter, talked about how much he appreciates Dakota Cox. Got to meet Brian Urlacher when Urlacher had his jersey retired in November of 2013. Play action. Sturm pumps and now takes off, and he'll slide down past the 30. We'll mark him right at the 30-yard line with Maurice Daniels closing in. There's Cox there to help Sturm up after the play.
Well, and Maurice Daniels is their best pass rusher. So you can see that UTSA is using play action pass. They faked the draw that time to try to slow down the pass rush. But you're sitting here at 3rd down and 9. Very critical play. UTSA is got one back in the backfield. They like the rub routes on these situations or screens.
Just a four-man rush. And it will still get to Sturm. As he stepped up in the pocket, he went right into the waiting arms of Garrett Hughes. Second team Mountain West Conference selection.
Yeah, they described Garrett Hughes to us as very active, a guy that's got constant energy, and they've got 4 good pass rushers up front. They said when they got here they had pretty good linemen, even though it was 3 and 37 the previous years before this staff came in. But they signed this senior class. They said they were on blind faith, and they're so proud of them. But they said they had to get better with the skill, and Bob Davies done a good job recruiting.
So now it is 4th down here.
Got to get past the change. You got to hope you get a penalty flag, get something deep. Too deep, probably in the middle.
And Sturm will try to muscle a throw past the sticks, and Brady Jones is able to catch it on the dive at the 16-yard line. On 4th down and 14, they get 19 yards to Jones.
But perfect anticipation. Dalton Sturm steps up into the pockets. It's a too-deep secondary. He throws it over Cox's head, Dakota Cox's head. What a first down on 4th and long.
A clutch catch by Jones, and now a fresh set of downs. Williams, though, runs right into Carson. Good play right near the line of scrimmage by Kimmy. The redshirt junior makes the stop, and it's 2nd down.
And from this point on, we've got 10 minutes and 18 seconds left. We're all going to start looking at this clock. With these two teams running the ball, you look up in a minute, and there's 7 left, and then there's 5 left. Got to make plays.
This feels like, and it doesn't have to be a touchdown, but it feels like it has to be a score no matter what for UTSA, because I'm not kidding when I say this. If you score and you give the ball up to New Mexico, you may not get it back in the 4th quarter. So this is a crucial Roadrunners offensive series. Play action. Sturm into the flat, and it is caught. Lunging for the pylon, and a touchdown, Trevor Stevens. The first touchdown for Stevens in his career comes in his 45th game.
They've been running the ball. They faked the run to the backside. They slipped the back out in the flat. The guy's jumping. Tight end Stevens right behind him. What a throw by Sturm. I'm really impressed with Dalton Sturm on this drive.
Extra point attempt is good from Victor Falcone, despite the wind pushing that one towards the upright. Trevor Stevens started his UTSA career on this field, the first time UTSA and New Mexico ever met on August the 31st, 2013. 3 years later, on just his 8th career catch, he has his first career touchdown, and UTSA is within 3 in its first bowl game. Redshirt senior out of Friendswood, Texas. Special teamer his first 2 years. A blocking tight end last year. 7 of his 8 career catches have come this season. And don't you think they love how hard Trevor Stevens has worked? His first career touchdown, Frank Selfo came over to him. Austin Blake Smith came over to him. The whole team basically came over and congratulated him, knowing how big this was. UTSA's first bowl game. He gets UTSA's first bowl touchdown ever. And now the sideline is really jacked up in what is now a 3-point game.
We got both sidelines jacked up, Adam. They're jumping up and down. They're screaming. People who question bowl games ought to tune in and watch. We got us a game.
Portillo with the kick. Grabbed by Lilly in the end zone, and he'll take a knee. UTSA sideline's getting rowdy. The first-year defensive coordinator, Pete Golding, looks on. As Jordan lefts one and finds Gamblin. And Gamblin, grabbed by Iguagu, finally inside the 45 of UTSA. They lull you to sleep, and then they beat you over the top. That's been a theme for New Mexico this year.
It's nearly unfair. You can see the wind blowing. It's right in his face. Run it, pound it, run it, pound it. And then you have a crossing route to the best receiver for the Lobos, Gamblin, for a huge first down.
23 catches for Gamblin to lead the team this year for Bob Davie.
We've got 2 really good play callers in this ball game. And New Mexico needs to get at least 3.
Here is Jordan. He can still pitch it. And he does very late to McCorley. Brother Gibson. And he's forced out by Iguagu.
That is played so well by UT San Antonio. And they still get yards because of their speed. But Iguagu is a guy who can play in space. Watch him, he comes up. He slow plays him, lets the safety, Nate Gaines, come inside out, forces him to the boundary, uses the boundary as his extra defender, and they get very few yards.
Gap integrity is a phrase we hear a lot from defensive coordinators against triple option offenses. I think the Roadrunners have had a lot of gap integrity today.
Yes, discipline, good eye discipline. They have really taken care of their gaps.
2nd down and 4 here. Here is McCorley to the edge. And Iguagu cannot make the stop. McCorley will take it near the 10-yard line as Bass finally runs him down. A 15-yard run.
We talk about Richard McCorley being the big, tough guy inside. This guy's got speed at 220 pounds. Sees it's not there. He bounces out to his outside, plants his foot, turns it up inside for another 1st down. What an impressive drive by New Mexico into the wind in the 4th quarter. Let the clock run. 5:34 left. You've got to force a kick if you're UTSA.
Trying to go up the middle with McCorley. About 2 on the play. Tauafa part of the tackle there, along with Bass.
Force a kick, you've got plenty of time, but they are letting that clock run, and they're not getting in a hurry.
Clearly within field goal range, and even with the win today, remember that Jason Sanders hit a 52-yarder in this direction at the end of the 1st half, a career long. One of the longest in New Mexico Bowl history in its 11 years.
Your UTSA, knock a ball loose, tip a pass. Got to do something to keep them out of the end zone.
UTSA is +3 on the season in turnover margin. Back to the ground and lunging past the 5-yard line is Gibson for a strong run. A couple yards shy of a line to gain. So it'll be 3rd down and short coming up here.
And you worry a little bit about altitude for UTSA.
5,300 feet above sea level here.
4th quarter, 5,300 feet, 1st bowl game. Bob Davie talked about it. He gave his kids a lot of time off, wanted them fresh for this 4th quarter.
3rd down and 2.
This is where you love college football.
Yes, sir.
What's he going to do? Is he going to hand it off to Big Rock up inside? Got unbalanced line to the field.
He's got 3 receivers on the wide side. Now setting a man in motion and giving it to McCorley. Where did he get hit? He can still get a 1st down at the 2-yard line. So this will be a very important spot as well. Will it be 4th down and short? Will it be 1st down and goal? And it is being marked short. A huge stand by UTSA, and the game very well could come down to this play right now.
And if you're Bob Davie, you have a decision, but you're going to let that clock run.
Here we go. 4th down and short. McCorley on the left, Gibson on the right of Lamar Jordan. It is McCorley. He got hit at the 1-yard line. It is a 1st down, though. So it will be a fresh set of downs for New Mexico. But what a stop at the goal line, at the very least, to prevent the touchdown for UTSA. And now you're getting close to the 3-minute mark and ducking inside of it.
Give it to your big guy. And we've got a great block with 88, the tight end, Nick Lehman, up inside as well. But the big boy gets hit. He turns. He rolls his pads in for the 1st down.
Tauafa was there for the stop. Although they have 1st down and goal at the 1, this almost kind of helps them a little bit because they can run a little bit more clock now and potentially score a touchdown. Roadrunners do have all 3 of their timeouts. Those may become crucial.
Well, you see Lamar Jordan standing. He's letting it get down to about 3 seconds left.
Right up the gut, trying to pound forward, and it is a touchdown for Richard McCorley, his 2nd of the day. And touchdown number 25 in his career. This is just his 2nd year at New Mexico. 25 touchdowns.
When you get in a tight spot like they have throughout the day on short yards and goal line, you do what you do best. You give it to your 220-pound back from Meridian, Mississippi, Richard McCorley, because he's protecting the ball and he's making positive yards.
And now Sanders on for the extra point in what is now a 2-score game. 2:22 left, still all 3 timeouts, but New Mexico takes 7 minutes and 21 seconds off the clock. Bob Davies' team is on top. He's leaned on Richard McCorley a lot in his 2 seasons. He's done it twice today to bang it into the end zone. One bowl win since 1962 for the Lobos of New Mexico. That was here in 2007 over the Nevada Wolfpack. Bob Davie talked to us about the history of this program. He's now been here for 5 seasons, and he understood what this program was. It was a program that needed an overhaul. They had gone 3-33 before Bob Davie got here. When Mike Loxley was the head coach, they had some rough seasons. He wanted the job that fit him at the right time, in the right place. His family is acclimated well here. His son is on staff. His daughter is a lawyer in town. This was the right place at the right time for Bob Davie. And his team is 220 away from a major win in its program's run in the last decade plus, as Matt Guidry takes it out to the 20-yard line. Game certainly not over just yet. 3 timeouts in a 2-score game with UTSA having the football. Remember that the Capital One post-game trophy ceremony will follow this game immediately over on ESPN3, so you'll be able to see the presentation of the Most Valuable Player Award as well as the trophy presentation. And it is a very unique, I'm sorry, that's a dumb thing to say. Nothing can be very unique. It is a unique trophy. It is one of a kind.
I think it's very unique.
No, you can't. It's unique. No, unique means one of a kind. You can't be very unique.
It's beyond unique.
Sturm over the middle. That play gets broken up. Kimmy Carson has made some clutch plays today, and Marquez McNair got ripped down before he could corral it cleanly.
Yeah, now you're going to keep them in front of you if you're the defense for the Lobos. If you're the offense, you're Frank Selfo. They're going no backs. They're 1-minute tempo with 2:10 left. You've got to score fast.
Pressure getting to Sturm even with the rush at just 4. Dumps it off for Brady Jones. He's out at the 29-yard line, so the clock will move as it's shy of the line to gain. Dakota Cox was there for the stop.
And in talking to Bob Davie, I thought he's having fun. He's got a staff he likes. They are older. You always need to have a lawyer in the family if you're a coach. So good to have got your son on the staff. Fun time for him. Straight up the middle. Good run here for Jarvion Williams. And Williams works into Lobo territory to the 49-yard line. Huge run, an important run. It stops the clock to move the chains. It's never over till it's over. The fans might say this one's done, but they can onside kick after they score and get the ball back quickly. Need to get into the end zone, or you could opt for a field goal. I doubt they would at this point, though. Throw to the sideline, leaping catch by Kerry Thomas Jr., and he gets ripped down by Lee Crosby inbounds, so the clock will move unless the Roadrunners use a timeout.
Second down. Timeout. UTSA. That's their first timeout of the half.
We'll take timeout as well. 1:22 remaining in a 2-score game. This is unique. This is one of a kind. This is sui generis. This is the trophy that is given to the winner of the Gildan New Mexico Bowl. Native American clay pot, handcrafted by Marcellus and Elizabeth Medea from the Zia Pueblo tribe. The Zia Pueblo is a tribe that is based here in New Mexico, or centered here. The outstanding defensive and offensive players get that handcrafted piece, and then the trophy, 20 inches of Zia Pueblo pottery, is awarded to the winner. So now second down, Sturm over the middle, and it's caught. First down inside the 30 for Kerry Thomas Jr. Finally brought down at the 28-yard line. Nias Martin made the stop. That's a gain of 20 yards for the junior out of College Station, Texas. He and his brother Josh Stewart are the leading receivers on this UTSA team. They may have to be factors in the final 70 seconds. Sturm under pressure and just floats it away. Penetration and pressure from Austin Ocasio. He was out of the pocket and got it past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the defensive coaches obviously thought they were being too passive. so they had to come after him. Good call on defense.
New Mexico with a 10-point advantage, 1:03 to play in the fourth. Second down and 10 coming up for Dalton Sturm and the Roadrunner offense.
We know what UTSA has to do. We're not sure. We're going to see a lot of change-ups with the Lobo defense. Looks like they're bringing 3. Going to bring 5 now, maybe 7.
Well, they're showing a lot of pressure. They're bringing some of it. Sturm is able to get it off pretty cleanly, but Jabryce Taylor couldn't extend high enough on a tall throw. That'll bring up third down and 10. The Lobos have had a great performance today from Richard McCorley. He is today's Capital One player of the game with his 2 rushing touchdowns. He has been a touchdown machine in his 2 years at New Mexico. 25 on less than 200 carries. He also had a big 25-yard reception in the third quarter as well. So now third down, needing to get to the 18-yard line. Less than a minute to go and 2 timeouts. Just a 4-man New Mexico rush. Sturm looking. Sturm floating it down the field, and Marquez McNair is unable to haul it in. It's ruled incomplete, but flags come in after the play. Kerry Thomas Jr. was also coming down in the area of the ball and got tripped up, and he is a little slow to get up after the play. Now back up on his feet. And then McNair ended up diving towards the ball and nearly snaring it off the deck.
Pass interference. Defense, number 27. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
When the spread set, you bring in extra defensive backs. Bijan Parker, the sophomore out of Los Angeles, gets tagged with the penalty. And again, he ended up just making some contact there. I don't think it was Parker. I think it should have been called on Gurgle. It should have been 16 because he was the one who made the contact. Pressure coming from New Mexico. Sturm will throw underneath to Thomas. One-on-one on the outside. Thomas will take it to the 5. He's got the first down at the 4. That stops the clock to reset the change. Still 2 timeouts for UTSA. The clock will move on the referee's signal.
And Brown misses the tackle in space. And if they tackle him, the clock's going to continue to run and force a timeout. Really good play by Kerry Thomas.
So UTSA will try to take advantage here on first and goal from the 4. To the end zone, and it is Jabryce Taylor hauling it in for a UTSA touchdown. And the Roadrunners, with 25 seconds to go, are still alive in this game. Second touchdown of the year. The other one came against Arizona State. His second comes in the bowl game.
And you're putting 6'2" on 5'11" in the corner with a fade for the touchdown. Good call by Frank Selfo.
Now a crucial extra point here to make it a 3-point game, and indeed Falcone is true. And now it is onside kick time for UTSA to try to get the ball back, as Jabryce Taylor, the senior out of Lufkin, Texas, the junior college transfer after a year at SMU, hauls it in.
And we have to remember, nobody is going to work on onside kicks full speed. It's too dangerous in practice.
Okay.
So it's one of the reasons when that crazy oblong ball is bouncing all over the place that we see onside kicks work.
Well, UTSA now trying to set it up. It will be Daniel Portillo, who was the field goal kicker last year, so he has some control. He's been the main kickoff man all season long. Austin, Texas native out of Connolly High School, redshirt junior. Hands team is out there for New Mexico. Gibson, one of the running backs, is out there.
Coaches are saying, come on, ball. Come on, ball.
Both coaches are.
Both coaches. Coach Davis saying, just grab it. Just grab it.
Dual kickers on the play. A flag is thrown. It may have been offsides. It doesn't matter. New Mexico is able to haul it in, and that will do it. Chris Davis Jr., part of the hands team, corrals it. And Bob Davey, the team was sneaking up on him for the Gatorade shower.
And he won't even care.
Offside. On the kicking team, number 83, the penalties decline. First down.
Big hug for one of his great players in Dakota Cox. And on a cold day in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
They missed.
They missed. Come on.
Then the strength coach says, back off, guys.
None of that.
Now they get him. And I think he's probably going to have to dance, too.
I don't even think they got a flush.
The 5-yard offside penalty will be tacked on to the dead ball spot. First down.
There it is. Okay, they got a pretty flush.
And people think coaches are stupid. Why do you let them do that? You have no thought process about you're so happy you've won the game, you forget about the Gatorade bath. And nobody cares. If you get it, you want it.
Lamar Jordan, 81 yards on the ground today, takes the final knee. I saw Richard McCorley, our player of the game, take quite the backflip in the air. And for New Mexico, their second bowl win since the early 60s. And Bob Davie thrown up on the shoulders of the Lobos after a 23-20 win for New Mexico. Impressive stuff from Rock out there. Outstanding job for both Frank Wilson and Bob Davie. Down to Don Davenport with Bob Davie.
I tell you what, crazy down here, Coach. After a 2-3 start, this team now gives New Mexico the first bowl win since 2007 and your first bowl game win ever. What are the emotions right now?
Yeah, it was a struggle. It was a struggle all day long. You know, their defense really played us well. Their quarterback scrambled, made some plays, but the Lobos won 9 games, right? Lobos end up 9-4. So much credit to these players and these coaches. You know, we've talked a lot about blind faith. Certainly there's been a lot of blind faith in this program to get it to this point.
Coach, you lose Tyrone early, but Richard steps in for you. How big was his performance for you today?
Richard McCorley's a heck of a back. Tyrone Owens re-injured his foot, didn't play at all in the second half. We had enough offense when we needed it. I thought Lamar Jordan hung in there, made some plays scrambling. At the end of the game, we do what we do. You know, we were able to run the ball, but Lamar had the big completion to Damian Gamblin in that last drive that was key.
Coach, congratulations. Go celebrate.
Appreciate it very much.
Don, thank you so much. Congratulations to Bob Davie and the New Mexico Lobos, the champions of the Gildan New Mexico Bowl. Coming up next on ESPN, the Raycom Media Camellia Bowl. Good offenses, Appalachian State, Toledo. For Don Davenport, Mac Brown, the outstanding women and men of our crew, Adam Amin sings so long from Albuquerque. Aren't you glad it's bowl season? We're here. We've got a long way to go going up to the college football playoffs. Thanks for watching. Back to the studio, Chris, Joey, and Danny.